Good morning and welcome to the Saturday special of Dr.Lamba's Awakening Call. A few days back, I had talked of the lack of leadership, or rather, the lack of brilliant leadership, innovative relationship, leadership, leadership that can enthuse, that can motivate. In 95% of the countries today in the world, there's no leadership at all worth being called a leadership. At best, it is selfish, self-centered, and just plods on. The sort of the leadership that Garibaldi gave to Italy, that General Nasser gave to Egypt, that was given by Mr. Churchill, or even de Gaulle. The leadership that was given by Washington and Abe Lincoln is just missing. So what's the problem? The problem is that the people have not been able to visualize, to innovate. And that is not in one country, that is across the board globally. One, the corrective people don't know who become leaders, become on the basis of family, wealth, and gangsters. And then secondly, they do not know that the concept of leadership has changed. So today I'll not talk about real great leadership. Let's talk of a leadership which is acceptable. So there are three characteristics of that leadership. And the second part of my discourse today, I'll talk of how the changed situation needs different leadership. Because these are uncertain times. And uncertain times need a certainty. So what are the three key characteristics which every leader should have? And I'm not talking of the leadership, the like of it Robespierre gave in French Revolution. I'm not talking of the leadership that Tito, with all his faults, gave to Yugoslavia. I'm not talking of the leadership that Kemal Atatürk gave to Turkey. I'm talking of the leadership which sustains, which leads a country to its path in a normal course of being. I'm even not talking of Liaquat Ali Khan's leadership, which was great at its time. But anyway, so what are the three characteristics which every leader should have if he deems to be considered as a leader? First is, a leader should have ability to create clarity where there is no clarity. Now, this is a contradiction. But this is the most important quality of a leader, the most important attribute that any leader should have. And it's underestimated. You don't lead a leader when everything is well defined. Then things will go on automatically. It's easy. All you have got to do is a well-planned plan, well-written plan, and you follow it. But when there's no clarity, when the things are ambiguous, when there cannot be complete information, when the area is nebulous, and that is the time when leadership matters. So a leader, a person who has ability to create clarity in the times of no clarity, is a leader. And that's the basic requirement of a leader. The people who are capable of getting into a situation where there is some sense of panic and then they bring clarity what to do next, that is invaluable. The second attribute would be a knack for sparking energy. It should be like the two wires coming in contact and sparks flying. I remember I was the chair of the Ethnic Press Council of Canada. And one day after I had been abroad, I went to the meeting and Maria Saras said, Dr. Lamba, thank God, you have come, you have brought life into the room. The moment you entered, the sparks started flying. And that is because I could bring sincere enthusiasm, even in the most dull, dreary atmosphere. So along with the clarity, a leader needs to bring sincere enthusiasm. One of the classic faces of leader is, you will have someone come into your office and say, hey, I'm very good. My team is very good. But everything around me is terrible. And that is a sign of stupidity and idiotic leaders like mostly. That doesn't create energy. That takes away the energy. That is sucking the energy. Good leaders should generate energy. And not only energy in his own team, but across the country or across the organization which he or she is leading. It is insufficient to focus exclusively on your tribe, on your followers, on your party. A good leader needs to inspire optimism, needs to give a spark to creativity, needs to have a shared commitment and growth through times, both good. Just a second, please. Yes, I was saying, he needs to give hope, enthusiasm, optimism. And that is possible if he is committed to the growth. To be a leader, you have got, see the religious leaders, evangelicals. They can enthuse people for very ulterior purposes. Not that I admire them, but I do admire their leadership quality. And that is what is required in a leader. And the third attitude, what should be a third major characteristic? We see the first characteristic is to create clarity in the times of need. He should come like a sun in the darkness of night. He should be the guiding star, shining. And he should be sparking energy. And the third is, he should have ability to succeed in over-constrained space. The word is too narrow. Let's be clear. And to shine in this, and to succeed in this over-constrained space, you need to be exceptional. This third attribute is applicable to anyone who is ambitious. Ambition can be in business, it can be in leadership of the country. I saw one of the leaders come and say, I'm not able to do this. I drive a success because of exogenous factors. Exogenous factors. They're beyond my control. I can't control them. They are the acts of God which would happen This is a social need, this is the cultural need, this is the political situation, this is the geopolitical situation. All that all those exogenous factors inhibit my work. Bullshit. Guess what? Everything in the world is exogenous. And those exogenous factors would always be there. They were there. Life is exogenous. Cannot predict. Even with the best astrologers, you cannot predict. So you can't say, that I'm just waiting for you to remove all my constraints. My constraints, for example, is the Prime Minister of India says overpopulation, bad sanitation, lack of civic sense in the people. Well, if all those things are not there, then you are perfect. You don't need a leader. As I said, that's a situation where anybody can work. Even a person like Rahul Gandhi in India or Justin Trudeau can work in excellent situation. It is only when the factors are not within the control that you need leaders. And that leader has to be there. Now, these are the three attributes. And now I'll give you 3 tips how to be a good leader in this time of uncertainty. First thing is you've got to accept that the old world challenges are no longer there. What were the old world challenges? Say about 10 years back. You needed financial integration, financial acceptability, accountability. Second was processes had to be put in place. And the third was fragmented information. Information was never complete. But the new world challenges are different. There is a digital and disruptive technology which any country is facing. There is regulatory compliance for the businesses and for the countries. And globalization and geopolitics. No country is 100% sovereign today. Not even USA. Each country is constrained by WTO, by UNO, by the groups, by the peer pressure, and on and on and on. So what are the 3 tips I'm giving? First is be agile and build resilience. The first thing is be agile so that you can respond to any change. You should be able to maneuver in all manners in a zigzag manner so that you reach your goal. Be so agile that you can respond to and instantly to any change. It's much more connected to the world. And it happens that something happening in Guatemala can affect people in Australia. It has a ripple effect. Debt crisis in Europe can destroy the economy of East Asia. A broken supply chain in UK can disrupt the civic life in Congo. So that's why the leader has got to have embedded flexibility in the strategy, more nimble, more agile. Second, prioritize your people. Do not think for yourself, for your party. Think for the people. They are facing unprecedented pressure in this world, uncertainties, economic uncertainties, medical uncertainties, education, elections, changes in leadership, unemployment, geopolitical situation. So all those factors. But your aim should be your people. And show that your people are happy and have all the basic necessities and comforts of life. Your people are number 1, number 2, number 3 for you. Anything else comes afterwards. And the leaders who cannot prioritize properly, who cannot think of having their people in the first place, cannot be a good leader. That's why in India, for example, Modi, when he says, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Saath, and also involve the people, Sabka Vishwas, for everybody, with everybody, and the trust of everybody. That is the ideal of leadership. And the last attribute, the recommendation is first is, as I said, be agile. Second, prioritize your people. And the third thing, act decisively. Do not dawdle. Act. Even if something is wrong, doesn't matter. Act, act, act. And people who act are the great leaders. Winston Churchill acted. His famous speech, we shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight in the houses. We shall fight everywhere. And then he ends that speech with, I have nothing to offer but blood, sweat, and tears. And he fought. Roosevelt, Stalin, they acted decisively. Even India, recently, Modi, had he not acted in the surgical strike after the terror attack, there would have been more terror attacks. So, action, there was a danger of war, but doesn't matter. Meet the challenges head on, and you would see that acting decisively would enable enthuse people, give them hope that this is a man who can act when the need is there. So, action means two things. You have to keep on changing your assumptions. Don't have definite ideas. We can't do this. No. Every change brings different strategy. And that's what I've said. Be agile. If you're agile, you can act. So zone out all the extra noise. Don't listen. Focus on your goals. Think of the people. Prepare for the future. Move forward with confidence in this uncertain world. And you would be a leader. You would be a Pied Piper of Hamlet, the leader people wish to have. And maybe they'll remember you for this leadership. Thank you.